Good morning. This is the Friday Fireside, and I'm here with Giles Tongue, VP of Marketing of Bango. Giles, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing
Really,
fine. Now, last time
yeah.
we spoke, you were somewhere in the wilds of southern England, I guess. I'm not quite sure what, but now you're in the wilds of Southern California.
Yeah, I seem to be in LA. I'm at the Parks Associates Future of Video conference.
See that, but you're gonna miss the really important show, the TV of Tomorrow show in New York.
Yeah,
So
I'm gutted
I
about that. We had such a great time there last time. I have to, from here, I'm going straight to what's become a larger Mobile World Congress, which is very important to us in Doha.
Whoa. All right. All right. So, talking about what's important to you, you and I started chatting. You have some new research about
Mhm.
subscriptions to AI. What are we calling them? AI providers, AI platforms, AI tools, AI
I, I'm go
services.
I'm going with tools. I mean, services is probably more accurate because you're paying
Okay.
for them as a subscription, but we kind of see them as tools that you're doing something with them, I suppose. Yeah.
All right. Now, admittedly, the gross penetration of AI users is a fraction of, folks who are using subscription services for TV, but you have found that they are sticky as hell. They get it and they use it and they keep it. So tell us a little bit, first of all, who those people are.
Yeah.
Who are those sticky people? Because I want to talk to them, and and on why and what and all like such as that.
Yeah, sure. So let me give you a bit of background here. Earlier this year, we were talking to a lot of mobile operators who were asking us for AI subscription services. So we started looking into the growth. There's obviously the AI bubble theory going around, but we looked into this and Sensor Tower is an app where you can look into what's happening in the app stores. And we discovered amazingly in 21 countries that we chose around the world, regionally, diverse countries, ChatGPT was the number one or two grossing app in 95% of those countries, which is phenomenal. I don't think anybody noticed that happening. So, following on that discovery, we then decided to run a survey. So, we found AI pioneers, as we call them, 2,000 people in America who have at least one paid AI subscription. And what we found in that study was pretty amazing. So, three-quarters of them say that their AI tools are essential to their everyday life. Two-thirds are ranking their AI tool as their single most important subscription. And wait for this, 61% would rather cancel all their streaming services than give up their AI tools.
Oh my heavens.
So
Okay, so now this is a currently relatively small audience, but boy, if you want to talk about the canary in the coal mine, this is actually it.
yeah.
How many AI services do these folks have? Are they all Chat GPT for the except for the other 15% who are someplace else?
Yeah. So the average use in our survey was five services, more or less. And
Five.
the average paid for was four.
So what's the average spend? How much are these folks paying for this?
Yeah, so the average spend was around $60, $66 a month on AI tools.
Oh, dude, I want some of that money. Okay, so now
Yeah,
let's talk.
and by the way, a quarter of the people responding, the higher users, a quarter of them are spending over $100 a month solely on AI subscriptions.
All right, so now tell me a little bit about AI subscriptions. If I'm Chat GPT, what's my lowest entry level price? Do you know that?
Well, most of them have a free tier, which will sort of
Get
have
you
some
in and get you
limitations on
hooked.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then if you want the latest and greatest with all the power, then you're paying something like $20 for a Chat GPT subscription.
Okay. But then are we like gaming where I go so far, but to get the really cool stuff, I have to pay extra?
Well, at the moment, no. So take GPT at the moment, for example, they have the Sora video creation tool, which most people are using for trivia at the moment. Pictures of Bob Ross in silly situations, painting
Yeah, they take a
something.
picture of their dog and make their dog do, yeah, right. Or their
Yeah,
stuffed
exactly.
animal. I've seen a lot of stuffed animals of late.
Right, but they will be using a lot of capacity there. Tokens they would measure it in. So there has to be a moment, I think, probably in the future where the usage has to be related to the price. So if you're using a lot of it, and even for users like myself, I'm running a lot of chats every day, a lot of queries, asking lots of questions, research, whatever, and I'm hitting the threshold. I'm occasionally getting sort of thresholded out. And I'm on a full, everyone at Bango, at my company where I'm working, everybody gets a paid subscription through the company so that we can
For
sort of,
Chat GPT.
yeah,
All right,
so that we can innovate
I'm
and
sorry.
try.
I can go on to Google and enable a an AI search enhancement. I'm not quite sure what to call that.
Yeah.
What does ChatGPT get me that Google AI doesn't?
Well, they've all got different sets of capabilities and features within them, and it depends what your use case is as to which one you'll prefer. I think there's a lot of similarities at the moment between a few of them. So ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Perplexity, for example. There's a lot of overlap there. You know, the biggest use case for AI at the moment in our survey was writing and editing. You can do that with all of those tools.
Okay.
Image creation, I haven't quite found the sweet spot yet. And by the way, I use 11 different AI tools at the moment. So I'm a super experimenter, let's say.
Whoa.
Um,
You are a heavy user, dude.
I am, yeah. So when it comes to image creation, ChatGPT has some pretty good image creation. Google's Nano Banana, which is part of the Gemini or AI Pro subscription, is phenomenal. And then Midjourney is something I use. And Midjourney's got a wonderful trick where you take a still image and you can animate it. You can sort of prompt it to do something. So I've been using that loads to turn an otherwise sort of fairly boring, two-dimensional image and really bring it to life. So Midjourney is interesting. So there's lots of different tools performing similar roles, and probably what we'll see within, I don't know, the next 6 months is some feature parity along those, and then it'll be easier to say, I'm going to use this one. That's my horse. But at the moment, I'm switching between Claude, ChatGPT, Google for all sorts of different tasks, and sometimes getting two horses in the race and seeing what the best answer is.
It's okay. What's the age break, if there is such a thing? I mean, we have means and all of, but I mean, who's using this stuff? Is it this
Well,
isn't all just Generation Z, is it?
I don't think so. I mean, that's
I mean,
not
you're
something
not
we touched
Generation
on.
Z, and God knows I'm not.
No. We didn't go into age in this particular
You did
survey,
not.
so we don't have the
Do you
answer
have
to
a
that
sense
one.
of it? I mean, there's
Well,
a fair amount of disposable income there if they're packing in that many services.
yeah, I think probably we can look at the use cases of it. So people who are writing and editing, that's everyone from students, through the rest of your life.
All right.
Image creation and video creation. I mean, if you go onto Sora and look at the sort of nonsense that's appearing on there, that's young kids, right? So
Yep.
that's trivia, right? But then learning and education are into university ages. Some people are using it 23% in our survey using it for healthcare and medical applications. That's probably, older people. So it's across the board, really. I
Yeah.
don't
Okay.
have
All
the
right. So
data, but
now
it looks across the board.
we are seeing that the quote unquote creator universe, independent creators
Hmm.
putting stuff out on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and a few others,
Yeah.
are taking a bite out of what I'll call legacy television usage.
Yeah.
And now it's starting to take a bite out of legacy television advertising spend, right?
Mm.
But I got to tell you, I have a sense that the kid who's holding a camera up, who's holding his iPhone up in a high school gymnasium, okay, looking at the game back behind him and getting, 20,000 views of the high school game, is going to be replaced in a heartbeat by another kid at his parents' garage doing the same thing with Gen AI, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm doing a lot of this myself, creating voiceovers, videos, editing it all. I was doing a lot of it this week from my hotel room. I mean, you can create videos within minutes.
And you are, of course, adhering to all the copyright rules of all the publishers. Of
Yeah,
course you are.
and often the tools are now restricting things. So
They
at
are.
some
The
point,
tools are.
yeah. So at some point, I wanted to create a funny, a kind of parody image of the famous person who wouldn't let me, and I couldn't even get near it.
Really?
That said, I used the tool 11 Labs, which is a text to voiceover. So you put in your script and it reads it back to you. And I've created a sounder like David Attenborough. So you can't prompt it, I want David Attenborough, but you can prompt it, slightly older English, and come up with a pretty reasonable proxy.
Now, a few months ago, a friend of mine, Patrick Donahue, who's sort of a nutcase from Long Island and worked all over the place, was using Midjourney.
Yep.
And he, I believe, just told it, give me a scene of Luke Skywalker Walker fighting Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And Midjourney went out and grabbed images, clearly copyrighted images, but then animated a lightsaber battle
Yeah.
from scratch. Well, not really from scratch, okay? But you're telling me that if that was 6 months ago, maybe he wouldn't be able to do that if Midjourney, who has been sued, by the way, by
Yep.
Disney and others, put
Yep.
in those restrictions. Okay, so that's interesting. All right.
So a lot of them will say, I'm not allowed to make a likeness, or I'm not allowed to do such and such with a famous person. So they're trying to curb
Yeah.
that kind of. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So, but they could easily do one of a guy with a beard and a Hawaiian shirt and a baseball cap, actually Macy's parade hat, talking on TV. So I could replace myself.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely. And actually, there's tools that we've experimented with at Bango. Hasn't quite worked, but there's tools where you can record your own voice, record your own likeness, and then give it a script, and it will reproduce that as if it was you saying it. And the use case for that is, I want to send out 1,000 messages, but bespoke. I want to say, "Hi, Rick, it's Giles here. I just want to let you know I'll be in the area." Blah blah blah. And you can do that with AI now.
Now, I did that about 3 years ago with something online. Actually, I
Yeah.
think it came out of Microsoft Bing, I believe.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, and it was okay, but my head was still. The voice was moving. I
Yeah.
recorded the words. It was me, but it was clearly fake me. Obviously, that's getting better now. Okay. What can Warner Brothers Discovery and whichever of, I think we're up to 13 companies who want to buy them, um, what can they learn from the subscription economy that you're
Well,
looking at?
yeah, what we're seeing is that with the rise in demand for AI subscriptions, there's also opportunities to bundle with those subscriptions. So
Okay, so now
what
Google has their own AI. That's Gemini, right?
that's right. Yeah.
So technically, they could bake a Gemini into Google TV in some form,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
maybe the cheap free one to
Yeah.
get you in and to make YouTube TV have that stickiness
Absolutely.
that I didn't watch enough YouTube TV, but man, I used the hell out of Gemini this month.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. So we've seen so Verizon, for example, offer AI Pro, Google AI Pro as a subscription. I think that's a $10 perk that you can get when you join. We offer DeepL as a subscription service, which can be bundled by operators around the world. So yeah, it's becoming a great bundling option. But also, we asked the surveyors, participants, who would they want their AI to be bundled with? And the
Yes.
answers came back with Netflix, Disney Prime, and YouTube Premium.
All the sort of the obvious ones. Okay. So now,
Yeah.
if I were, let's assume I was YouTube TV and I
Hmm.
was bundled in with Gemini or anything, right? And YouTube Premium. And I wanted to give Giles an opportunity to make a recommendation to his friends for something he just saw on YouTube TV. That
Yeah.
could literally be a click away, couldn't it?
That's right. Yeah. So actually, we're seeing that we asked what some of the more trivial uses are, and people are using AI, for example, to look up who was an actor in a film they've just watched,
Yep.
or which
But we
which.
used to go to the IMDb, whatever the database thing, which is now part of Amazon, and they've destroyed it because you can't basically use it anymore for free. But
Yeah.
oh, okay, so you could use AI to
So here's
find
here's
out who you're looking at.
so here's three uses, Rick. 65% frequently use AI to look up the details of the shows while they're streaming.
All right.
65% are using AI to find the next show to watch. And 58% are using AI to look up spoilers while streaming. Why you would do that, I have no idea.
Okay, so what you know what? I understand that because I'm one of the ones who reads the last chapter of a book first. I'm more interested in how they get to the end. You know, I'm a writer. What can I tell you? So, but now you could be using Chat GPT to tell me where my Orioles are going to be appearing on TV right now, couldn't they? Couldn't you?
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
That that turns out to be a really hard thing to discover.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a little nuts, and it's just, I mean, you guys don't pay attention to baseball, and
Yeah.
you always know where your football games are
Well,
because well, nobody watches them anyway. Okay, so what can the television subscription world learn? What's the most valuable lesson for them from the growing, accelerating AI subscription space?
well, I think it's that there's both an opportunity and maybe a bit of a threat here. When we think of our world of bundling, for as long as bundling has existed, the number one subscription service that everybody has wanted to have would be the SVODs, the subscription video on demand,
Yeah.
Netflix, Disney Prime. And what this survey is telling us is there may be a new kid on the block, which is the AI subscription. So maybe the top spot in the bundle hierarchy is about to be disrupted. I don't know, but it certainly feels like there's potential for that to happen. But also, there's an opportunity for a subscription video on demand product to bring in a very high demand and very valuable, these things are not cheap, subscription product with it. And then all boats can rise together. And that then can create what is a stickier proposition because now you've got multiple different products together, probably some little price advantage in that bundle as well, but it's higher value, which makes it stickier and less likely to be cancelled.
Okay. Last question. If I am an average uh, AI subscriber, and let's say I actually have 5 services,
Yeah.
do I have a tendency to keep all those 5 services permanently, or do I go in and out a bit?
Well, we don't know yet. 77% of the subscribers in our survey have started subscribing to AI in just the last 6 months.
Well, come on,
So
get on the stick, bud. Let's get us some information. Oh, yeah. Okay. All
it's a
right.
new
So
it's this is an emerging thing that's happening right in front of our eyes. I couldn't believe that App Store data. This morning I looked in South Africa. Same story, number one in South Africa.
now, but again, it's number one in terms of stickiness, not and number one in terms of growth. Now,
This is
let's
this is highest grossing apps in those
let's
app
let's
stores.
make sure people understand that if I have one subscriber today and I get a second subscriber tomorrow, I've just grown 100%.
That's right.
Okay. It's a whole lot different to go from 10 million subscribers to 100% growth. The bigger you are, the lower the growth percentage. So AI has the advantage of being relatively small, and so growth is spiking. But the
Yes.
key is the stickiness of that and
Well,
what we can learn. Okay. Any sense of how many times per day, per week, per month people are using this, or do they never
yeah,
really
we
turn it
we
off?
asked the question about daily usage. I think it was around 60%, 61% are using the AI subscriptions every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Any sense of how long they're using it? Like,
Don't
is
have
this an
that.
hour, 10 minutes?
Well, I can talk from my own experiences. I seem to be going back in and out of Chat GPT every other question, whether it's
Really
research or looking for. Absolutely. Yeah.
interesting.
But also I'm giving myself maximum access to it. So I have it on a web browser. I have it as a desktop thing. It can actually be your web browser. But also on my phone, I have it as a widget so that when I open up my phone, you can't quite see it there, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
there as a widget on the top of my screen. So I'm one click away. And also, if you have an iPhone, you can now set up the side button on the new iPhone to be Chat GPT, and Siri will give you Chat GPT. So it's so easy to get into the service. Why would you do it any other way? And of course, the nature of a question that you ask is completely different to how we used to search. So you're asking very, very specific questions. And as we learn to prompt engineer and write things, get to the answer we want, you can get super specific. To me now, the challenge is what's the highest order question I can possibly ask it? And let's challenge ourselves to see where we can go. It's an enabler of all sorts of wonderful things.
So I'd be dying to open it up and ask who was named in the Epstein files, but different issue. We'll get to that. I'm
That
sorry.
thought has already crossed my mind. As soon as
Yeah,
that thing comes out,
I'm su-
20,000 pages or whatever it is, I bet
I'm not sure it's
ChatGPT
all
is
been
red hot.
uploaded and digitized yet. And I think, frankly, personally, I think that a lot of it's going through the paper shredders as we speak. Uh,
I remember after the Iraq War, there was documents with so much redaction in it. There was like one word there, it's like 2 words on a page.
yeah,
I think we're
yeah, yeah.
probably heading towards that one.
All right, listen. Thank you for your time. We'll try to put a link to your study when I put this up, but certainly anybody can contact you directly on LinkedIn and you'll help them get in, even if they're like me and don't have a, official email address since I still use AOL. Anyway,
That's right. Write to me. I'll let you in. Don't worry.
there you go.
It's there for everyone to enjoy.
Giles Tongue, thank you for your time, buddy. I really appreciate it. And get back home. And since this will air in December, have yourself a happy Christmas. Okay.